Okay, so Hard Knocks is the talk of fall. It always is every time it comes out. Now I understand Hue Jackson lost his mother, so very much rest in peace. That's a very sad situation. Football guys have to battle through those types of things. Coaches, it's just a unforgiving schedule in the fall for coaches. That's very sad. With that being said, I have no idea how anybody in Cleveland Browns organizations takes that guy serious. I have no clue how Hue Jackson is a head coach.
That was my number one question. Is he soft?
It's not that he's soft. He's just so fake. Everything he said, and I might be too far removed from the NFL at this point, because I used to have to sit through those meetings where it's like, this is our year, the time is now, blah, blah, blah. You will earn your stripe on your helmet. Like, motherfucker, you guys won 0 games last year. Okay? Maybe y'all should earn maybe your jobs and win a fucking game.
I thought Todd Haley was going to knock him out.
Greg Williams and Todd Haley are going to murder him by the end of the season.
By the way he said, I used to think that too when I was sitting in your chairs, but now I'm in this chair.
Yes.
And what did you always say to me? Well, it's your team. You can do whatever the fuck you want. That's right. It's like Hue Jackson. Like, goddamn. Like, that's an interesting way, especially for a motherfucker that won 0 games. Like, you are not Lombardi. You are not fucking Belichick. You are Hue Jackson, the guy who was snitching and ratting on your GM last year to the media, who won 0 motherfucking games, and now you're punking Todd Haley and Greg fucking Williams. Greg Williams, by the way, that's the guy that was in Bountygate, right?
They both. Todd's been a head coach before as well. Like Todd's like, I've been in that fucking seat too, motherfucker.
Yeah, Todd Haley, by the way, watching him restrain himself there takes his hat off, sits down. Everything I just said about Hue Jackson not winning a motherfucking game last year ran through Todd Haley's head about 25 times. You see it happen, and he's just like, "Whoop, it's day 2. It's not even worth it. It's not even worth it for me to do it." We said yesterday, with all the talent the Browns have, hammer the over.
Yeah.
After watching Hard Knocks, hammer the under. Hue Jackson, that guy. No, rest in peace to his mom. I cannot say that enough. Very, very sad turn of events. His mother passed away, whatever. I ain't never seen a motherfucker faker than that. I have never. It'd be very difficult for me to sit in that room and him just be like the way he was talking, and just be like, "Yo, shut the fuck up, bro." Like the way he was talking to, you guys, I thought you guys were having a tea party over there. He said to the 2 guys that were sitting on his side, I'd be like, hey, corny motherfucker, just shut up over there, bro. Why don't you just go worry about winning a game? I could not take him serious. I'm being serious. As a person who sat through, I've been through 12, but with college and the NFL training camps. I understand all the hoorah and the meetings and this. The time is now. This is our year, blah, blah, blah. I understand that. But Hue Jackson, I honestly thought he was, because the way he's talked about is that he's a good coach. What I saw last night was a dude there's no way he's a good coach. I don't even know how he's coaching in the NFL. That was some of the most corny shit I've ever seen in my entire life. Plus, Dorsey coming up to Baker Mayfield. Is your name Baker Mayfield? You shut the fuck up, GM. Yeah. You guys have won 0 games last year. Just sign the fucking quarterback and let's get on with it. I think there's just too much. And then that dude talking about a 10% compound interest. This ain't 1990, bro. You ain't getting a guaranteed 10% on your money. I hated everything about it. I was watching like, these motherfuckers are terrible.
What about at the end when he said if you spend 2 hours a day on IG, that's a month of your year.
Yeah, that's how you can make a lot of fucking money, bro. And that guy, he takes a picture with Taylor Swift at a meet and greet. Now he's acting like he's dating her. Bro, you paid for those fucking tickets. I hated that team. Jarvis Landry is an animal.
Hey, bless him.
He's in there saying shit you wanted the coach to say.
No, he said what Todd Haley was saying. Yes. So Jarvis Landry and Todd Haley were saying the same exact thing, right? And that, whenever he stood up in that, by the way, way too early in training camp to have those speeches happening.
That's like 2-3 days in.
Way too early for the guy standing up and like, I just got something to say. Write your why down, blah, blah, blah. By the way, no clap from the team after he spoke. No clap. So it was one of those things where it felt like, this was a forced thing. This guy was doing this strictly for the camera. Okay, good. And then Jarvis yelling at everybody. It's like day 2 of training camp, day 3 of training camp, and you already got people just choosing not to play. I think the dog pound, watched Hard Knocks last night and was like, fuck, here we go again. Another 0 win. How about them? The dog pound is the best part of it. The chanting, they're the best part of the whole thing. I don't see, and I mean this with 100% straight face, I don't see how that was the crew that was put together to run a team. I have no clue how that happens. I think, now, granted, I was on a team that almost lost every fucking game. I was on a team that almost lost every single game. And I feel like what I watched last night was like a high school team being put together. And that is just so sad for Cleveland. Great for the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep.
Great for the Cincinnati Bengals. Great for the Baltimore Ravens. But for the dog pound, with LeBron getting his shit ripped off the building to start the show, that was just a poor. And by the way, what head coach in the NFL have you ever heard say to the media, I'm going to win here? It's a we thing, Hugh. Like, he said at the beginning whenever he was about to jump into the lake.
The cleansing.
Yeah, he was like, I'm going to win here. I've never heard a head coach say, I'm going to do anything. It's a we thing. I think they are fucked. I think the Cleveland, and this might be a little bit of a quick react. What's that called? Like a snap reaction or whatever it is. But man, after watching that, I ain't never been more embarrassed for a team in my life than that. I'm like, what is this? This is an NFL team? Last year, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers kickers went like 4 for 12 or something like that. And I'm like, this is an NFL team? I feel like, to be honest, I've been very lucky to be in the training camps that I was in and under the people I've been with, because that Hue Jackson shit, I do not get it.
Well, I feel better now because this is exactly what I was going to ask you, because as someone who's never been in the NFL, and I don't know as much as Diggs knows about football, but watching it, I'm like, these guys are losing because of their coach. How are you not doing what this fucking defensive coordinator is saying?
Well, it's not even that. Todd, it's just everything about him. It's just tough to look at him and take him serious. So once you start losing, then it just becomes even more, right? Because once you start losing, that's when you start losing guys. And I can see how Hue Jackson would not be able to turn a team around, because he tries to be like the friend, cool guy.
Yes.
But it all comes off so fake to me. When he's dapping people up and shit, it all seems so fake to me. And I'm just like, this guy, how are you a head coach? How are you a head coach?
I had the exact same thoughts about Atlanta when they had Hard Knocks.
Dude,
and Mike Smith
is so bad.
He was so soft, like bag of milk soft. You looked at that guy and you could see right through, and you were like, this team is going to be dog shit.
Worst.
And they had so much talent, and I think they went 6-10 that year and he got fired.
But it's not about being soft. It's just fake. I don't like that.
It was the same vibe.
Yeah,
it was very much the same thing.
Fake vibe. And I feel bad that his mom passed. Let's make sure that
and his brother
in the same month. That is terrible to have to do that. But watching that, I'm like, the dog pound does not deserve this. They do. And by the way, that facility looks dope.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It was very clean.
I like his office a
Those
lot.
offices were very clean, right? And it looked to me like it was like, all right, don't put too much shit in here because you might not be here that long.
Not a lot of Cleveland Browns coaches get comfortable in their offices over the last 20 years.
I don't know if a lot of people caught it, because unless you listen to Mike Tomlin talk all day, every day. But his main number one line is, we don't live in our fears. And that's what Todd Haley said to Hue Jackson. He goes, you're living in your fears.
Oh, yeah, because he was like, this guy's prone to pull or whatever. He was like, we got to make them mentally tough. This guy hasn't. Todd Haley actually said, we got guys who haven't done shit sitting out.
Duke Johnson's been in the league for 2 years and hasn't really done much of anything. Like, he hasn't even been the starter yet. And they're already, like, scheduled practice days for someone in their third year. That seemed weird to me. Or scheduled sit days.
Yeah, you take G days. So G day is something that we had, and it was for the OGs. So the OGs would take G days, right? And to be honest, I never got one because I would take a day off every week anyways. But you get guys who've been in the league like 8-10 years. They get like a day off, but not during the first week of training camp.
And being in your third year, and you're not really, like, they have. Another thing on the organization that looked bad to me was we're there at the airport, and there's like 6 people picking up Baker. Nick Chubb was the 35th pick in the draft. Like, he was a high second-round pick, and not one person from the Browns organization is there to help him?
It came off they were trying to, like, it looked as if they were trying to start a feud between Baker and Chubb.
Yeah.
Like, the way there was, like, people escorting. Baker didn't even have to go down the baggage claim.
No, Nick Chubb's standing there waiting for his bag as, like, the 35th pick. Like, he's almost as high as Baker. Like, fucking wild situation. I would, in my mind, as an NFL organization, I just always assumed that, like, all the draft picks, when they arrive at the airport, they're probably taken care of decently, and their second-round pick is just standing there waiting.
By the way, when I got drafted, they forgot to book my flight.
That was my question to you. Like, did that look bad as an organization, or is that just
I thought
bullshit?
it looked bad, especially because it's Chubb and what Chubb will go on to do.
Correct.
Right. Well, Chubb seems to be a freak. I guess he's a real freak. But for me, they said they booked me a 7:30 a.m. flight. So
You're at the airport?
At 6 a.m., yeah, I got there, and I go to check in. They're like, you have no flight. So I had to call the Indianapolis Colts, but they weren't in the office yet because it's 6 a.m.
Yeah.
So I'm just sitting at the airport until like 6:45, and then finally I get a response, oh, my God, so sorry, we didn't confirm the flight. I'm like, well, is it going to happen? Or they were like, yep, here you go. And I finally got onto the 7:30 flight, but it was like I almost missed. Well, I didn't almost miss it. I was at a flight that I almost didn't get on. But yeah, that's very much. That's the 7th round, though, 222. That is very different than the 36 pick, which is what Chubb was.
Speaking of being there at 6 a.m. or not, is it necessary for Tyrod to be there at 5 a.m.?
Yeah, that seemed a bit extra to me, but that is, well, that's like Hue talking to Baker, right? He was talking to Baker. He was like, what time you get here this morning? He was like, well, it was a little later. I get here 2 hours before or whatever. He was like, you ever think about coming in with Tyrod Taylor? He was like, well, you even heard Baker be like, 5 fucking a.m.
I like Tyrod.
I don't know. I do.
He seems like a very humble, like down-to-earth dude.
Who was the dude with Baker? Patrick, I think he said. He's the little skinny brunette
It seemed like
kid.
his brother or assistant.
He was in there while he was signing his contract.
Yeah. I think it might be just like his boy. It seemed like
That's the impression I got.
That was wild to me that guy's just hanging around all of a sudden in the fucking GM's meeting room while he's signing the contract.
How about they were like this? The $14 million you'll have on Friday. I was like, Jesus.
Well, that's why he said 7.7, by the way, when he was in front of the team after taxes. He lied to the team. Then he sang Country Roads. I respect that. Got the words wrong, but he sang Country Roads. I respect that. And that is the same thing. Name, school, signing bonus, sing. That is just what happens at every team. And I don't know. That team's fucked, I think.
Even like the Josh Gordon thing, too. Like him just saying, yeah, I'll be there soon.
Well,
like,
I mean, that's him trying to,
they can't talk about what Josh Gordon did. They can't talk about it. So they made a decision that when these cameras are around, to save Josh Gordon's little bit of a reputation he has left, we will not talk about what he did. Whatever he did, it is something that is very embarrassing to not only the Browns, but to Josh Gordon, I assume.
Why he's there right now?
Yes.
It came out, and they said, when it happened a week or two ago in the media, and they released the statement that it was on his own decision, that he said he needed to go away for a few weeks just to get back to a healthy standpoint before the season starts. And
Something happened, though.
They spun it in a very good way, as it's just him being proactive that he doesn't want to fuck up again.
Yeah, and then you heard Hue talk about we don't know when he's going to be back. Something happened that they're all covering up right now. Everybody's covering something up right now for Josh. And it might not be, I don't think it's a failed test because the NFL would come out and say that. But something happened that they are all hiding. And I don't know what it is. I have no clue what it is. I'm not there. But it was very obvious that something is... No, because he would fail a test for that. It can't be that, Gonzo.
So you take your test at that date no matter when you show up to camp.
He
right?
takes 8 tests a month. He takes 8 tests a month because he's
on
in the
that
substance
program,
abuse. So he's taking 8 tests a month. So if he failed a test, the NFL would have announced that. He'd be suspended. Something happened.
How about his mentee?
I've heard rumors of what happened, but I will not say what I think happened. But something happened. What'd you say?
How about his mentee? Did you see that?
Oh, yeah, the kid that got arrested for marijuana possession on a suspended license, by the way.
How funny is that?
In the middle of training camp. In the middle, like this dude going to play the drums in the middle of fucking training camp? Like, what are you doing? Like, why is this? Great drummer, by the way. Great drummer. Really impressive drummer. But this is the first week of fucking training camp. Like, to me, I don't understand what's going. First week of training camp, I don't think, and all I did was kickballs. I was hunkered down. Like, okay, this is our time now. This is our job now. It feels like the Browns just have so much going on. And I can't reiterate enough. They won 0 games last year. 0 fucking games. The only reason why you get Hard Knocks is because you're a bad football team. And the way they're acting, it just seems like they're on their way to lose every game again, the way it seems. First week of training camp, guy going playing drums and shit. Like, what are you to get in the fucking... Maybe watch film. What are you doing?
Normally in Hard Knocks, that drumming thing, like when they go and like profile players and what they do like in their off time, is like week 3 or 4 of Hard Knocks.
Week 1 of training camp, this dude's in a studio. It's like, what are you doing? Like, what you are not on a good enough... I don't know who you are. First of all, I probably should. I have no idea who you are, so let's assume you can get better at your job. The Browns are terrible at football. You haven't earned your stripe on your helmet of a team that won 0 games last year yet, and you're in a studio. I'm just very confused by it all. I'm very confused about how that is an NFL operation. I don't get it all from the GM all the way down. I have no clue how any of it works. I love Drew Stanton, by the way. I got a chance to be teammates with him. He's a great guy. Tyrod Taylor. I think Baker Mayfield's a really good football player, too.
Jarvis came off very well.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, he, like, you could tell, like, that dude fucking cares. Like, he wants to be really good.
Jarvis is a beast of a player.
Like, and he just got paid, and he still looks, I mean, you could edit any way you want, but it still looks like he wants it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I feel bad for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's like seems to be the only one with that drive on the whole team.
The one guy's giving fucking financial tips. The more and more I heard him speak up there, I'm like, this all makes sense on a dry erase board, but you haven't been able to just guarantee 10% interest return on your money since before the fucking stock collapsed. Like, what are you? This isn't even a real thing, you fucking idiot.
He's putting his money in CDs still. Like, that was his fucking move.
Stocks and bonds, those things don't exist anymore. Maybe you get 4%. Why don't you do that with 4%? Do the math. Well, that's probably what you're guaranteed these days. I think they're all doing too much.
Is there anything that you saw that you did like? That's a real question.
It had to be Brogan, right?
I hated that kid. I hated him.
I thought he stole the show.
I hated him. I know because Big Cat and PFT liked him. I hated him, though. Like, he was talking too much.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're a rookie. Just shut the fuck up. Like, that's my big thing. Everybody thinks that I, like, would talk because I'm a very loud person now. I didn't talk for the first 3 years I was in the league. Like, I literally didn't talk. Now, granted, I would get drunk in front of people and entertain them, but, like, publicly and shit like that, I wouldn't even talk because, like, it's just like what I said to Connor Daly, right? Like, I told Connor Daly, like, get good and then be loud, right? Like, get good. And not saying Connor Daly isn't good, but it's like, at least earn your keep first before you start drawing attention to yourself. And that's kind of how I feel about this Browns team. It's like everybody's calling attention to himself. Like, motherfucker, ain't none of you have made it, except for Jarvis. Jarvis Landry has. Tyrod Taylor, incredible quarterback at Buffalo. Let's assume he does well here. Baker is a first-round draft pick. He's going to be rich anyway, so he can do whatever. But a lot of these people are doing too much, and they have not. There's no reason for them to be doing too much. Like, and I would like to know what it is like in training camp after Hard Knocks debuts. And then you listen to talking heads like me, just completely annihilate all of you, and then to see what it's like, how they react to that. You know what I mean? Because the dog pound does not deserve this, and I have no idea how Hue Jackson is.
If you were in your second year though, and then Hard Knocks came in, how would you be on the camera? Would you like stay away as far
I
as
would
possible?
shut the fuck up. That's Peyton. My second year, that was Peyton Manning. That was Jeff Saturday, Dallas Clark, Vinatieri's there. I might have done some things that were kind of comical, but I am nowhere in the position to be doing anything of look at me. I was still trying just not to get cut. It's like those guys, I don't understand what they're doing. I have no idea what they're doing.
Did I understand it correctly that basically Baker Mayfield was told you're going to rent or buy an RV, either one, and bring it there for the quarterback?
Yeah, Drew Stanton.
It's part of
probably,
his rookie thing.
Yeah, Drew Stanton. That's why he said, some teams you got to take them to dinner. This not with the Cleveland Browns. I got to get an RV, is what he said. Like a shot. By the way, took a shot at the Cleveland Browns while saying it. I would assume that was Drew Stanton's.
It was very sad looking too when they were tearing down the LeBron.
Great shot, though, by the way.
It was.
It was a really good shot, watching the guy walk through. The HBO does it good.
I thought, honestly, to be completely honest, it was a little dull for me as far as Hard Knocks goes. Like, as far as the first episode goes,
I thought it was heavily scripted too.
Yeah, it felt fabricated.
It did.
Sure.
It felt
Everything
overproduced.
felt fake.
Yeah.
Everything felt fake to me. And
That's why I wonder, is Hugh, I just think he's soft, but that's just me looking at it. But I think, is there some pressure on him, like he is forcing it for the camera, like, oh, I have to entertain now and I don't know how to do that? That's fucking affecting how he's coming off.
Who, Hugh?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how he normally acts.
Yeah.
I have no idea if that's how he normally acts. I have no clue if they feel like they got to put on a show.
I think it is because he's always had a reputation as a player's coach. And the media always loves him because he's friendly with the media. So the media was like, "Oh, Hue Jackson's gonna be a great fit with the Browns."
Now listen, when everybody takes shots at people that are players, coaches, or whatever, being a player's coach doesn't mean you have to be fake. You know what I mean? A player's coach is somebody who looks out for the players. Like, hey, we're gonna cut back on this because it feels as if you guys have been going for 12 hours, so we're gonna cut back on this meeting so you can get out early. It doesn't mean that you're yo, what up, dog? Dapping people up and shit like that, because that doesn't mean you're a player's coach. That means you are trying way too hard to be liked by people. Like, hey, just get your team to win, by the way, and your players will like you. So then you become a player's coach real quick if you win and can have victory Mondays. That's a big player's coach move. You know what I mean? But I just don't. I did not. And honestly, I think I'm too far removed from the NFL at this point. I'm 2 years out. I was laughing. I was laughing very hard at a lot of the things that were being said in very serious team meetings. Like, if I was in there, I couldn't even fathom what I'd be saying at that moment. I couldn't even fathom what I'd be saying. Like, the earn your fucking stripe thing on the helmet. Like, that's the most college high school move I've ever in my entire life. The most college high school move I've ever heard in my entire life. And like, are you going to earn your fucking paycheck then until we win a game? Because, how about this? I'll earn the stripe. You don't take a single dollar until we win. How about that, Hugh? Questions? No questions. Okay, I'll get out of here.
Every time I saw a coach, though, it reminded me of the water boy coach.
Oh, the O-line coach?
No, just the main coach.
The O-line coach.
Awesome. Did you see the
dude? When
the running back coach wanted to be the guy to let the kid out of practice instead of the trainer? He was like, I was thinking maybe we have him dressed, but I hold him back. Like, the running back coach wanted to be like the fan favorite. Like, yeah, this is me holding him out as opposed to the trainers holding him out. I was like, this fucking team is upside down. I have no clue.
I kind of took it as him being like, yeah, how about we dress him and like I'll control, like I'll tell him not to play, like, but like I really thought like he was like, yeah, he's gonna fucking practice if he's dressed.
No, see, I thought he wanted to be the guy that was controlling reps, so he can be like, listen, I'll take care of you guys. Like, that's what he wants to, in the running back meeting room, be like, I'll take care of you guys.
Oh, see, okay, I took it as he was kind of backing up the other coach, saying they should be at practice and dress and stand there instead of not be at practice.
Well, see, that could be it. But in my eyes, the way I saw it is he wanted to be liked in the room. Yeah. So he would be like, that's
probably more insight.
So he can say, like, I'll take care of you guys. I'll pull reps off of you guys if you're getting tired, blah, blah, blah. As opposed to the trainers pulling people out because they could be tired or close to strain. Now, we used to put these satellites towards the end of my career. They put these little chips on the back. And it monitors like how many miles you ran, your top speed, things like that. And that got into all these stats that John Gruden hates about who should be taking days off and who should be in. And that's whenever Hugh said like he's prone to pools and shit like that. They probably have some sort of thing on him like, oh, this guy has ran triple the amount of this person, blah, blah, blah. But Todd Haley's that old school guy. It's like, yo, we got to toughen these dudes up. Like, how are we going to toughen these?
He's like, we got a lot of fucking work to do.
A lot of work. He didn't have a single win last year.
I need more of Haley and more of Greg Williams. Like, that's, I think, it's going to be what I like about I just love fucking coordinators.
As soon as I saw the 2 G's in Greg Williams, I was like, oh, there's Bounty Gate guy, right? And I had never seen him operate before. I'd never seen Greg Williams operate before. And whenever he was like, last year I was an asshole. I don't want to be that guy again, right? That was like, this is like a high school college situation again. Like, it all felt like a college, like an amateur situation to me. And that might be because I'm so far removed, so I don't remember what those things were like. But it all seems so amateur to me.
I mean, as an outsider, granted, I don't like the Cleveland Browns. I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. But as an outsider, it felt the same way. It felt very, very like a college team.
That's exactly
what you would imagine a college situation to be like. I have a question.
Yeah.
Jarvis Landry in practice made that one-handed catch. Yeah. And it may have just been the way they edited it, but it seemed like the whole practice shut down and the whole team started celebrating because he made a one-handed catch in practice.
Yeah, so for me, I didn't think that was that impressive of a catch. Great catch. Let's not get crazy. Great catch.
Sure.
But when I was watching practices, you expect, like Reggie Wayne, the shit he used to do in practice was just like almost routine. Philip Dorsett used to have top 5 SportsCenter catches on a daily basis at practice. T.Y. Hilton, things like that. So those are moments that the whole team definitely like goes crazy about, especially as a punter or kicker who's watching. My job, I feel like, is to hype those moments up, like screaming and shit like that. But you just kind of move on. And it's now hopefully that is like the Browns being like, yo, that's the type of stuff we hope to see and we haven't seen in a long time. But as somebody who's come from like Reggie Wayne and I never had a conversation in my entire career there, but watching him fucking work, like the things that he would be able to do. And he used to wear what are those gloves that really stick? Cutters.
Cutters.
He used to wear cutters that are just like, you might as well put glue on there, like the sticky finger bandits coming out, the Home Alone.
They're an ugly glove, but they are the best.
And he used to make these catches that were just like, routine for him that are Sports Center top 10 plays. That Jarvis Landry catch, very impressive because there was a defender in the way and he snagged it. But it did seem as if I'm like, yo, this is the fucking NFL though. Like these are what, like Jarvis Landry is a top 5 fucking wide receiver. Like this is shit that he's gonna do.
That's the vibe I got. So, it was like they almost shut down practice because he made a one-handed catch.
Yeah, they were like scanning the sidelines, and that one player was like, "Yo, Jarvis are really good, man."
as an NFL
like it was
fan,
blowing his mind. I was like,
that
really?
does happen though. By the way, like whenever shit like that does happen, and as a good locker room guy, like I would pride myself on building those things up, like in the locker room afterward. Like whether it's against the corner that it happened, like T.Y. and Vontae used to go at it, and there's a couple times T.Y. would get over on Vontae. So as soon as the team came in the locker room, I couldn't help but be like, Vontae! Yo, T.Y. today. Like those are the moments you have, but it did seem as if the practices were just, it seemed amateur to me. And I don't know how they win a game. I don't know how they even win a game. Unless they just throw the ball to Jarvis Landry the entire time and figure it out. I have no idea. Because I think their individual coaches are good coaches. Obviously, they have good success rate in other places. But I don't know how a Hue Jackson run team can win a fucking game. I have no idea how. Like, imagine him in the middle of a game. Like, when bullets are flying, it's no wonder they didn't win any of the close games because you got the guy that's doing it is just like, he seems fake to me. That's just, I don't know. Rest in peace to his mom and his brother. That is terrible. I feel very bad that I have to ruin him for his coaching abilities because it looked disgustingly terrible. But rest in peace. He was in a bad situation too. So maybe the next episode where he doesn't have to deal with this, we'll talk about it.
maybe.
I doubt it, though. They look terrible. Hammer the under. Hammer the under. Let's get to a break, double break here, and then we'll get some phone calls. Some people want to talk about it.